So after the Season 4 Reloaded update, I was playing Black Ops 6 when it dawned on me. At the very end of the game, I had a brief moment when I realized this is exactly what Black Ops 7 could look like on day one. Now, if you don't know why I say this, it's a little thing called carry forward, which we're going to dive a little bit deeper into in a moment. However, what this means is that everything that is currently in Black Ops 6 may very well just move straight forward into the next Call of Duty game. And it indeed is not the first time that we have seen this. We saw this when, once again, in back-to-back years, we had titles with, well, the same title, going from Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3 year after year. This year we have Black Ops 6 into Black Ops 7. And needless to say, it has me worried, but it also has me worried for reasons that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. And I finally wanted to just get my opinion out there, gave you what I think, and give you why I think it, because there's 4 different things that could actually happen with carry forward that lead to 4 very, very different results. And I think one of those results is quite literally a good majority of the player base for Call of Duty as a whole never even trying Black Ops 7. Let me explain. So there are 2 of these that to me are very, very big. This is what an average lobby of Black Ops 6 looks like. Now, for going from Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3, one of the things that carried forward into the next game was all of the operator skins. So at the very beginning, the launch of Modern Warfare 3, you had characters like 21 Savage and Nicki Minaj quite literally just running wild within the game, which did 2 things. Number 1, made it feel as though you were playing the exact same game that you just played for an entire year once again, which led to the entire community telling us this game felt like a $70 DLC, which was kind of the way people lived for an entire year until the game then went away and everyone said it's the best multiplayer that we've played for years, obviously having a big problem, and that big problem being the carry forward content. So in other words, just the game feeling stale immediately because it looks exactly the same as the game that you've already looked at. And then based off of images that we have seen from Black Ops 7, it does look very different from Black Ops 6 in the way that it is much more futuristic. You can tell by the skins that they are going kind of back to the future, if you will, with the way that the game actually appears. The other thing that it means is the game will never feel down to earth whatsoever, because with the Season 4 Reloaded update, we got things like Beavis and Butthead, we got cell shaded maps, and moving forward, we're going to get more skins along these same sort of lines as American Dad and just cartoons in general, which means at the very launch of Black Ops 7, these are already going to be in there, which kind of gives them the full-on freedom to put whatever they want for skins into the game. This is what people are calling the Fortnification of Call of Duty. It's been a thing that's been going around for a long time. And what this means is that with the launch of Black Ops 7, it's only going to get wilder and wilder for then on in. Now, what is wild to me is I tweeted this out the other day, and the amount of people that responded to me saying that, Jesus, we don't want this, was almost everyone, thousands and thousands of people. But there was a good portion of people that are like, hey, I don't mind. I want my things to carry forward. And I would probably guess that that's most of the casual player base. I could be wrong. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this down in the comments. Now, personally, if you want my opinion, I do not want this whatsoever. I think it's incredibly important for a game like a Call of Duty to have personality. You play this game, it immediately feels like it. Going back and playing Call of Duty World War II lately, immediately it feels like you're in a specific era. If I showed you multiplayer gameplay of Black Ops 6 and asked you when does this game take place, you would have to be like, I don't know, in a cartoon? Like I can't tell. When this is supposed to be based in the year 1991. And then going into the future, who knows how crazy they're going to get with this. So needless to say, I just really don't want to see these character skins for a whole nother year. The game already looks ridiculous. Maybe if they would have taken Beavis and Butthead and kind of make them look more like Call of Duty characters, or taken American Dad and put them into a Call of Duty skin, but that's not what they did here. They literally took the cartoon and put it in there, which is cool that they can do that, but totally pulls us away from what, to me, a Call of Duty game should look like. And maybe I'm just an old man yelling at clouds in this situation, but again, you can let me know what you think. Now, the next thing that we can move into is weapons. Now, this is the other thing that I am very, very strong-willed about, because when it comes to bringing back the weapons once again, the amount of bloat that this would cause in the game is just absolutely astronomical. If you go to Warzone right now, there's already like 200 weapon plus in the game. There's Modern Warfare 2 weapons, there's Modern Warfare 3 weapons, and then there's Black Ops 6 weapons. And then on top of that, if we add in a whole other game, then there's going to be Black Ops 7 weapons. On top of this, the way that the create a class worked in all of these games was just a little bit different. Now, the current rumor for Black Ops 7 is that it's going to have a system similar to Pick 10. If you want my opinion, I would be really, really open to. I think that would be absolutely awesome. The problem with this is if they have a brand new create a class system, what happens with all of the attachments from the previous weapons? Are they going to be able to be used on the Black Ops 7 weapons, or are the Black Ops 7 attachments going to be able to be used on the other? It creates a massive amount of bloat. And one of the biggest problems I think Call of Duty currently has is getting new players to play their game. What they are very good at is getting existing players to spend money. But as we've seen over the past 2 years, the player count has just dropped and dropped and dropped. And yes, the amount of money that they are making because of premium events, premium battle passes, and the amount of skins and cosmetics that are in the game has gone up and up and up. But the player numbers are dropping, and eventually it will get to the tipping point if we as a community do enough not to purchase these crazy things, but who knows what everyone out there is going to do. But with the amount of bloat into the game, they're not drawing in new players. If you go into Warzone right now and you do not watch YouTube, you do not watch TikTok, you don't have a friend that plays the game, you're like, oh, a free-to-play battle royale, let's give this a shot. And then you go in and there's 200 weapons immediately available for you to unlock. Which one do you go for first? How do you find out? How do you know? It's literally next to impossible to just know. You immediately have to look up things, and that creates a barrier to entry that is very, very difficult to even know how to start, let alone like get into the game for the first time. And I think that is a increasingly difficult problem that Call of Duty is going to have to deal with, especially if they introduce carry forward once again for another year. When you start fresh and there's just one set of weapons from one game in there, you immediately know what you can grind for, and it's not just overly confusing with thousands, quite literally thousands of different attachments. Now, this doesn't mean I don't think players should be rewarded for previous Call of Duties that they have played. With the Call of Duty HQ, they have made it possible for things to carry forward. It just doesn't mean all of them should. But one that I think would be interesting if it did is at the very least camos. Now, I think they've created a horrible economy with what they've done with weapon blueprints. I think instead of selling blueprints, they should have sold camos, because then a camo could be used on a wide set of weapons as opposed to just one, therefore making it more consumer friendly and easier to carry forward, because instead of having to carry forward a weapon or a blueprint or a whole set of weapons, you could just carry forward the camo and use it on the new weapons for the next Call of Duty game. However, if they do carry forward camos, I would be okay with something along those lines. That one doesn't irk me too much, especially if they were just to do the mastery camos, for example, and then you could use those mastery camos on the new weapons, and then they would have to come up with new mastery camos for new games that looked even different than the old ones. Now, I don't know really how this one needs to be argued at all, because it seems as though everyone just really, really dislikes the maps from Call of Duty Black Ops 6. But if you remember back from Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3, when the game launched, there was a playlist within Modern Warfare 3 that was simply the Modern Warfare 2 maps. Now, I don't think a lot of people played this playlist, and I don't really see the point of it. I think if you're paying for a new Call of Duty, which, by the way, paying for multiplayer is kind of like the main thing there in campaign, but if you're paying for it, why would you want to play old maps that you already paid for and played in the previous year? It really doesn't make too much sense to me. Now, the one thing that we have seen them do within Black Ops 6 is add in map variants with the cell-shaded maps that were added in Season 4 Reloaded. And what I find hilarious is for years, we have been asking them to do different day and night cycles on maps, or different weather, maybe create a snowy version of a different map, and they haven't done that. But as soon as it's cartoons, They do. I don't know. I find it really, really weird. But needless to say, I'm not a big fan of map carry forward. We already played those maps. Give us something new. Stop trying to recreate old content. Give us some new stuff. That's what I think everyone wants. The one other thing that people talk about when it comes to carry forward is the double weapon XP, double battle pass XP. I think it's fine if these carry forward. You've earned them. If you want to bring them forward to the next game, just to count for that. They're pretty much giving out one of these every single day anyway within the store. So it's not a huge deal either way, but if you're carrying everything else forward, you kind of have to carry this one forward as well. So as a whole, what is the point of me making this video? It's worry, and I want to get everyone's opinion across here. I worry that day one of Black Ops 7, we are going to be playing a game that has cartoons in it, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Seth Rogen, all playing on brand new maps in a brand new game that then feels like Black Ops 6, and no one wants to play it because we've already done that for a year. People are sick of it. The player numbers have already been dropping on that, and it's not something that has been working. I want a fresh game, a new start with all new weapons, all new attachments, all new characters, a new Call of Duty. And is that maybe a little less consumer friendly? Technically, maybe, because all of a sudden you don't have access to those things that you paid for. But there is one thing that you can do. You can go back and play that previous game. However, Call of Duty tends to make that difficult, as games that they have kind of supported in the past no longer get supported. People hack them. Quite literally, sometimes it could be completely unsafe to play them. But that's a conversation for a different day. Anyway, I don't want Black Ops 6 to look like Black Ops 7 or vice versa, and it scares me to think that that's what we could be getting right away on day one. We are rich.